You know, I was watching a lot of the media coverage, the Jay Leno's, the SNL skits, and I saw a lot of even local radio, kind of poking fun at Tebow's faith and making a joke out of it, a mockery out of it. And as a Christian man, I just it really kind of convicted me to hey man, I think we should make I told Dennis, I think we should make a song and just not about the wins, not about the football aspect at all, just about his faith. And that, some people get caught up in the praising of Tim Tebow, and it's not really about that. We're not praising him in any way, shape, or form.
If you listen to the song, you'll see that. If you listen closely to the words.
What it's about, more or less, is that we're standing with him, or standing next to him as Christian men. He's Tim Tebow lives his life as an unashamed Christian. Anybody who watches his interviews can tell he's all about giving God the glory first and foremost before anything. And football is really a second for him. He's using it as a means to bring glory to his faith and glory to God.
Right. What do you think? I mean, there's always been athletes that are, to kind of showcase their beliefs, their religious beliefs. What do you think it is about him that singles him out?
I think, well, first of all, you had the fact that he was the Heisman winner, so that by itself created a lot of buzz. He brought that here. I think in every interview you find him talking about God, Christ, and when they try to, well, what about this? Well, they try to get him off of talking about it, he always comes back to it. So I think he's 100% genuine about his faith and being a Christian.
So his outspokenness, I think, like I said before, just his unashamed faith. He'll stand in the face of the ridicule and everything that's going on around him. And he smiles at it. You'll see the interviewers kind of try and catch him up and, well, such and such, what do you think, such and such? Urlacher said you're a good running back. Oh, well, that's good coming from a great player. He never buys into that. He doesn't feed into the negativity of it. He always just tries to take the high road and do what a Christian should.
What do you think that means to not only his playing ability, but his faith? What do you think that means to?
I definitely think they're one and the same. The funny thing is, I was watching. I'm a big Facebooker. Anybody who knows us, I'm the Facebooker of the league. On Facebook, there was a comment that one gentleman made, and it was something about how God has something better to do. God has something better to do than help Tim Tebow win football games and so forth. But the fact of the matter is that in our faith, we believe that God is omnipresent, which means he's everywhere. It means he doesn't have to take time away from what Tim's got going on to deal with the little kid over here who's got cancer or who's in the hospital dealing with whatever. So I think as a faithful Christian, I do believe God shows you favor, and I do believe that he is in your life. Now, does he care about if the Broncos win football games? I don't. I don't know. I can't presume to know what God thinks, and I don't believe so. But I do believe that he is involved in using certain situations to bring about his glory. It's not about what the Broncos do this season. It's about him getting his glory and pointing more people in his direction. And that's what the ultimate goal is as Christians.
Do you think he's Tim's maybe made a lot of people think about Christianity and maybe weren't giving it a lot of thought before?
I think he's even encouraged other Christians to step up and to not be ashamed about your faith. Maybe I know a lot of people on the job, they won't talk about their faith or being a Christian. Maybe some people say, hey, Tim can do it. Let me talk to this guy I've been thinking about talking to at the water cooler for the past 2 years,
He's kind of taken the taboo out of it. Before that was just something that you didn't speak about for fear of offending somebody, for fear of this or that. I mean, let's look at the last game. They made a big deal out of the 316 yards of passing. The next day, the number one search was John 3:16. it wasn't, and Tim Tebow was number 2, which I think that there's a significance there too, is that God is first, we're second. You know, the fact that people were researching and finding out what that verse meant, it's all about God. You know, He comes first in our life and in Tim's life, and hopefully he's reaching a lot of the audience that's watching the games.
And of course, Tebow has his charitable efforts that probably sets him apart from a lot of other people who talk about their religion. Talk about that a little bit.
What can you say? He was born on a mission. You know, he was born in the Philippines. His parents were missionaries in the Philippines. He was born on a mission. So, you know, if you read, I read an email about the struggles that his mom went through when she was pregnant with him. That they wanted her to abort him because of some drugs she took and because of something she was going through in her pregnancy. And so the odds that he came against, and she, you know, prayed to God and said, you know, if you give me this kid, I'm going to make him a preacher. And that's what he is. You know, when he's not on the football field, he's visiting prisons and hospitals and spreading the good word. He's praying with kids, and that's what he's doing. He's fulfilling what God, the purpose that God had for him in life.
So, for people who haven't seen the video, tell me about the video.
Well, as Tony said before, he came up with the idea of my quarterback's a Christian. Tebow's really inspired us to. Of course, we've been really open with our faith and not ashamed. Of course, before the big Tebow popularity wave. But the idea was to first start off here, and we had Tony's son, Scoob. We thought it'd be great to include him and include Tana in the video. And I don't know if you got a chance to look at his haircut, but we want to just switch off from a kind of a day-to-day scenario of kind of some of the stuff that we do
in our life.
Yeah, and going back and forth to talking about Tebow, God, a couple shots of the Mile High Stadium.
Right. The barbershop. I mean, this is where I spend my weekend. This is, you know, my son, he's a huge Tebow fan, and, you know, he's always in here. Our barber over here, TJ, he's a master artist with the clippers, and, you know, he's always cutting designs in his head. He wanted Tebow last week, and so I said, man, that would be a good concept for the videos. You know, the storyline would be we're at the barbershop, and he's getting his haircut, getting a Tebow design, and just a way to include my family. You know, they're on this journey with me. They knew me before I was saved, before I was a Christian man, and so it's just a joy to bring them into this fold and have them experience this side.
What do you hope the video accomplishes?
Really, just